In this video, I'm gonna teach you how to stop rumination. My answer to rumination is that you guys should start praying. All right, we just lost like good 50% of the audience right now. And the rest of you who are still here are probably thinking, okay, this guy is nuts. Like, he's probably one of these people who are with signs on the street being like, you're not a good person. You are not. Pray. That's not me whatsoever. Guys, I will give you some other advice if it was better, but bear with me, please. And I'm gonna share with you why prayer literally saved my life, even though I was an atheist. You don't have to believe in God to pray, and why it completely eradicated rumination from my life. In the last 6 months, I ruminated for maybe 1 hour. I'm not joking. I never ruminate about anything nowadays, thanks to prayer. And in this video, I'm going to show you how, because I know it sounds freaking ridiculous to suggest something like this for the issue of rumination. Let me take you on a little story where I'm going to explain to you why prayer is the deal breaker, the bread breaker, everything good when it comes to rumination. This story will start with Ryan Holiday. Ryan Holiday is the most famous Stoic of today. Maybe you've heard of him. He wrote many successful books, and he's the guy to think of when you hear Stoic. And Stoicism is this ancient philosophy that paradoxically resulted in modern therapy. But there's one big plot twist in our story about Mr. Ryan Holiday, which is that Mr. Ryan Holiday is not actually Stoic at all. Now, before you're like, this video is even weirder than before, like, Paul, what are you trying to say? Ryan Holiday calls himself Stoic, but according to Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca, the 3 biggest Stoics in history, he is not Stoic at all. Because according to these 3 people, Stoicism is all about believing in God, prayer, and that's like 70% of what Stoicism is. Now, let me make this even stranger by introducing CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. Maybe you've heard about it. It's the most clinically successful form of therapy nowadays, and CBT comes directly from Stoicism. Ryan Holiday doesn't believe in God. He doesn't pray. But that's precisely what Stoics did every single day more than anything else. Now, all of CBT comes from, guess where? Stoicism. But guess what CBT did? It took all the good techniques from Stoicism, just like Ryan Holiday, but it again left out that thing which, according to all 3 biggest Stoics, was literally the core of all Stoicism: prayer and believe in God. Now, you may think that if you take a flu pill, for example, and you take 70% out of it, that it's still gonna cure flu for you. And it may, but it's not gonna be nearly as effective as taking that whole pill. Now, there's a famous book called We've Had 100 Years of Psychotherapy and the World is Getting Worse by James Hillman and Michael Ventura. How come everyone's still ruminating? I watched so many videos ever since I was little on how to not ruminate, that you should use mindfulness, you should do this, you should do that. In reality, none of it helped until I started praying. Stoics had this idea is nowadays called Amor Fati. And Amor Fati means to love your fate. And it's a thing that you can learn when you start to pray every single day. And it's a thing that allowed Stoics to never ruminate. They were not complaining. They were not trying to solve stuff in their head. Sometimes they were. You know, life can get really hard, but they had this crazy ability to keep inner peace no matter what was happening. Now, my idea of rumination is that rumination is all about meaning. If your brain ruminates on something, that means, I believe, that the brain doesn't see meaning in something, that something doesn't make sense to it.
That doesn't make sense.
It's like having pieces of a puzzle, but there's one piece of that puzzle that just doesn't fit in. And so your brain thinks and ruminates and comes up with these solutions because it's trying to find a meaning. It's trying to make sense of some experience that you are afraid that you will have, or of some experience that you already had, or of something that's currently happening to you. Your brain wants to have a full life circle that makes sense. It wants to include everything into your life story. And when some experience doesn't fit, like maybe you losing a job, your brain can be ruminating about it. Like, oh, why did I say this thing? Maybe that's why I got kicked out. Oh, maybe if I did this differently. Oh, and you cannot stop thinking about it because it wasn't included in this story of your life. And your brain cannot yet find a meaning of this particular experience. It's an unfitting piece of a puzzle. Now, you may be thinking, but Paul, what does this have to do with prayer? And the answer is this. You have what's called reticular activating system in your brain. And reticular activating system, or RAS in short, is like a lighthouse in your brain. Wherever this lighthouse shines, that's where your attention will go. And prayer is basically like a gym for meaning making. When you pray, you change your neural pathways in your brain to learn to see meaning in everything, even everything bad that may be happening to you. What it does is that it literally changes your reticular activating system. It takes it when you pray, and it changes that lighthouse that's currently shining its light, which is your attention, to stuff like being in a victimhood, not finding sense in why I lost my job, ruminating about it, thinking about it over and over, to slowly and slowly finding meaning in that thing. Because when you pray, what did ancient Stoics do? They always prayed in this way. Thank you, God, for making me the strongest version of myself. This thing that you're sending me right now, I'm saying yes to it instead of no, because I know it will teach me X, Y, and Z. These are probably the lessons that you want me to learn, and that's why you're sending this thing to me. And they were praying like this. They were not praying like, oh, please take this away from me, take this away from me. In that, prayer was an exercise in meaning making. It's literally like going to the gym and doing a bicep curl for your biceps, but this is for a muscle of meaning making. It will change your neural pathways and your reticular activating system in a way that you will stop feeling like a victim and that you will be able to see meaning in everything. And because rumination is a natural response of the brain when it cannot find meaning in any given episode or situation or thought in your life, this will teach the brain to find meaning way faster, sometimes even immediately, in these situations and events, so the brain has no reason to ruminate. Because now it's been solved, the meaning has been assigned to it, there's some meaning to it, okay, we don't have to think about it any longer. So I listen to Ryan Holidays of the world or cognitive behavioral therapists of the world. I'm here telling you, I don't ruminate at all. And I went from someone who would literally won an Olympic gold for the Czech Republic in rumination in the past. 100%. There was no one worse that I've ever heard than me. I ruminated like 12, 13, 14 hours a day. Most of modern therapy, most of modern stoicism, which is kind of like it's like the most popular philosophy of today, is just completely omitting the very core that stoicism had, which is prayer life. So please try prayer. I've tested this with 300 plus clients of mine and on myself, and it works. Oh, but Pavel, and I hear this all the time, I'm an atheist, I don't know what to, I don't want to pray, I'm an atheist. Pray to the ceiling, pray to the chair, pray to life, pray to the universe, pray to God. I don't care. I'm not a preacher here with a sign. I would recommend you something else if it would work better, but prayer really works. And there's nothing else quite like prayer. Because yes, you may meditate, but that will teach your brain. It will change your neural pathways because brain is neuroplastic. It can be changed into being able to focus more, but not into finding meaning. You can do gratitude journals, but that's going to teach your brain to have more gratitude. That's a specific exercise for that. But not to be able to find more meaning. The only technique, the only thing we have that your ancestors did for 300 millions of years probably, or something like that, is prayer. Because prayer is directly focused on teaching that lighthouse, on putting your attention on what is the lesson here? What is the meaning here? Okay, thank you for sending me this. Okay, this is probably the lesson. It's almost like you talking with yourself, but addressing it to God and, okay, why is this happening to me? What's the meaning? And the brain will learn that because you can change your reticular activation system by what you think of continuously. And then your automatic thinking will not be like, oh, let's solve this. Let's go over this because it has no sense. It has no meaning, Paul. It will be like, well, there are no automatic thoughts. And that's what I experience nowadays. Like literally something bad happens to me and it's not like I start ruminating. No, I'm just like, all right, nothing comes to my mind. I'm like, okay, this is what God wants. This is what is assigned to me now. And it's the most freeing feeling ever. Like I honestly feel at 28, like I discovered some magic to happiness in life that I know everyone on YouTube is like, hey, here's the magic, but I'm a psychologist and I've tested this with almost 400 people. Give this a serious shot, please, for 3 to 6 months, every single day. try to pray at least around 20 minutes, 15-20 minutes every day. And yes, this is an exercise and the brain is neuroplastic. It will change because you're finding meaning. And that's a crazy superpower, because your brain ruminates not because it would like to think over something, but because it doesn't find meaning in that thing and it wants to find a meaning in it. If you like this video, I think you would really enjoy my other video, which is called What is OCD? The 2 biggest myths. And if you ever tried prayer, leave me a comment down below. Or if you think this is completely nuts and I'm just out of my mind, leave me a comment down below. Let's discuss it. Anyway, guys, I hope you like this video and have a great day, and see you guys later. Peace.